Good afternoon, all. I would like to call to order the January 26th, 2021 License Board hearing. I will now read the open meeting law in accordance with Governor Charles E. Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law 30A, Section 20. The Board of License Commissioners will be convening via remote conferencing services today, Tuesday, January 26th at 4 p.m. and will air on Quincy Access Television Channel QATV 9 Government Access. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Sue, can you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Director Duca. I do not see Director Duca on the call. Chief Jackson.
Present.
Chief Keenan.
Present.
Chair Crispo.
Present.
3 out of 4, Madam Clerk.
We do have a quorum, so I'll go ahead and start with agenda item number 1. Hearing regarding the request of Pizza Days, Inc., doing business as Pizza Days for a common victualler license for the premise located at 657 Southern Artery, formerly Papa John's. Proposed manager Haki Dengizai. Proposed hours of operation 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Takeout and delivery only. And Haki Dengizai is here to represent. If you can unmute yourself.
Yes, I am here.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Why don't you tell us about what you're going to do at Pizza Day, Inc., doing business as Pizza Day?
Yeah, my name is Haki Dengizli. I've been on business almost 15 years in Boston area. I have 5 more locations: Medford, Allston, Revere, Burlington, Miami Beach, also Wilmington. I would like to open one more in Quincy. I found one location that used to be Papa John's. We do exactly the same business, pickup and delivery, no seating. So we keep on, we keep running the business even with, COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to open. Just I want the permission from you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And this is 7 days a week?
Yes, correct.
11 a.m. to 3 a.m. So you'll be
Correct.
delivering late.
Yes, late night.
Okay. Does any questions or concerns from anyone in the audience? John, is that your hand up? Go ahead, please.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
Need your name and address for the record.
John Rutherford, 62 Grenwall Road. I'm just going to say, I think that the 3 o'clock thing, well, we've seen this a couple times in the past, but ever since COVID started and, the lockdown has started, Walmart closes now at 11. Stop and Shop closes at 12. So, the only, I would say the latest that you could even argue would be 1 o'clock. I think there's no way we should ever let anyone open up late anymore because the big businesses aren't doing it anymore. So, I mean, I really think that, going like with Stop and Shop, I mean, I don't want people coming over the bridge at 2 a.m. From Weymouth to come to Southern Artery to get something to eat. Not that everyone's crazy that's up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., but there's a higher probability, and that's less work for the police that already got enough on their plate. So I'm not against them opening up. That's a good place for a pizza place. But there's also no place to park there too. You don't want no place,
Did you bring him here, or did he run over
Anyway.
here?
Could
But
you put,
anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. I'd rather see you have them close
With your
at
permission?
12 or 1.
Okay.
somebody,
Thank
could somebody please put themselves on
I don't know
mute?
what this is. I'm going to bring it in.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak
No,
for
not yet. It
or
might be in the mailbox.
in favor?
Can I answer it or can I say something?
Yes.
Come in.
CVS across the street, 24 hours open.
Yep. Okay, thank
I
you.
think he'd love to keep going if he would like to.
Anybody else would like to speak for or against the Pizza Day Inc.? Okay, seeing none, board members. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none. Looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Pizza Days Inc. doing business as Pizza Days for a common victualler license for the premises located at 657 Southern Artery, formerly Papa John's. Proposed manager Hockey Den Gisley. Proposed hours of operation 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Takeout and delivery only. 7 days.
It's buzzing, yeah.
Second on the motion?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
You're all set,
Thank you.
Harkey. You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next
Doc.
item on the agenda.
Oh, can I say hi?
Here regarding the request of Arias Cafe Inc. doing business as Arias Cafe for a common victual license for the premises located at 25 Copeland Street. Proposed manager Fong Hong. Proposed hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And attorney Hong Win is here to represent.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, how are
Thank
you?
Good, how are you? Thank you so
I'm
much
very
for
good, thank you.
thank you so much for letting us speak. I'm actually here with my clients, Fung and her the manager of the restaurant. Well, he's going to be the operational manager of the restaurant is Young. So
Okay,
he's the one with the experience in the restaurant industry. So they're taking over. They're proposing to take over the old Soup House location at Copeland. I think they want to keep everything basically the same, except the only thing they're going to be changing is the type of food that they're serving. So they're serving mainly breakfast foods, sandwiches, bubble tea, that kind of thing. Okay, and Young has extensive experience in the restaurant industry. He's worked for, I believe he said he worked for Ming Tsai in Wellesley when he had, I believe it was Blue Ginger in Wellesley. He's a 20 years line chef, basically, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
We're waiting.
So that's it. If anybody has any questions, we'd love to talk to you.
thank you. Are there any questions or concerns from anybody regarding Arias Cafe for a common victual license for the premise located at 25 Copeland Street? Seeing none. Board members, any questions, concerns? Looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Aris Cafe Inc. doing business as Aris Cafe for a common victualler license for the premises located at 25 Copeland Street. Proposed manager Fong Wang. Proposed hours of operation 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Second on the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All set. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good day. Thank you.
Agenda item number 3, hearing regarding the request of Alumni Pizza LLC doing business as Alumni Pizza for a common victualler license for the premise located at 379 Washington Street due to a change of ownership. Proposed manager Ed Cochran. Proposed hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Mr. Cochran is unable to attend the hearing today. He is up and running his business there at 379 Washington Street, which was a former pizza and sub shop. Do I have any questions or concerns from anybody on the meeting? John, do you have your hand up?
He does, but, oh, John, he was on mute. I think he just dropped off.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? Seeing none. Board members, any questions or concerns? Looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Alumni Pizza Quincy LLC, doing business as Alumni Pizza, for a common victualler license for the premises located at 379 Washington Street due to a change in ownership. Proposed manager Ed Cochran. Proposed hours of operation 10 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Second on the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, that's all set. Next, going to agenda item number 4, hearing regarding the request of Holy Cross Investments, Inc., doing business as 7-Eleven, number 3737 3A, for a common victualler license for the premise located at 230 Washington Street due to a change of ownership. Proposed manager Baha Megali. Location currently has a 24-hour license. Baha Megali is here to speak on behalf of the 7-Eleven. Hello, sir.
Is there anybody here representing the 7-Eleven?
I'm right here. I just had to unmute. Sorry.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Are there any changes to the store itself?
No, everything will just follow suit like before.
Okay, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yes.
Do you have management ownership experience in the 7-Eleven?
I'm actually an existing franchisee. I've been an assistant for 20 years. We own multiple franchisees throughout the state, actually.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Any questions or concerns from anybody on the meeting? Seeing none. Any questions, concerns from board members? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Holy Cross Investments, Inc., doing business as 7-Eleven, number 37373A, for a common victualler license for the premises located at 230 Washington Street due to a change in ownership. Proposed manager Baha Megali. Location currently has a 24-hour license.
Second on the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Next agenda item is agenda item number 5, hearing regarding the request of MNN Corp., doing business as Ken's Auto, for a license to engage in sales of pre-packaged food at the premise located at 1284 Furnace Brook Parkway. Attorney Stephen Tobin is here to represent. There was a required mailing to abutters, and the health department, Bill DeCali, is working with the owner on a required hand sink.
That's correct, Madam Clerk, and good afternoon to you and to the members of the licensing board. Joining me today are the daytime manager of the facility and the owner of the business, Mr. Aziz Nasser. They're looking to get a license permitting the sale of packaged foods. They do have a vending machine now, but they find it's very inconvenient, people looking for change. And since the city passed the ordinance allowing it with the inclusion of the sink, this is the direction we're moving in. Mr. DeCali was here yesterday, and he's in agreement with the plan to essentially not install a new sink, but remove an interior partition, revealing a sink that was used for other purposes. So we're all set there. We've also done a request from the city to get a contractor so that we would have pest control, and we have that as well. And I can demonstrate for the clerk that we did the mailing and we have the receipt for the cost of that. So we believe it's a very good thing for their business. We'd appreciate the consideration of the board with a favorable vote.
Thank you, Attorney Tobin. Any questions or concerns from anybody on the meeting? Barbara, you have your hand up?
Barbara might be over here.
Hi, Barbara. Can you take yourself off of mute?
Yes, I don't have a concern.
Oh,
I didn't raise my hand. I'm
okay.
sorry. You
I thought
talking
your
to me?
hand was
No.
up.
No,
Okay,
I
thank you
have
very
no concern.
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions, concerns? Seeing none. Anybody from the board?
Madam Clerk, if I could just ask a quick question of Councilor Tobin. How you doing tonight, Councilor?
Hi, Chief. Good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you as well. I'm well, thank you. I just want to do, I have a note here from our fire prevention office that this location is missing a third-party underground storage permit. If Mr. Nasser could just reach out to our fire prevention office, they can walk them through the details of what that would entail. We just have to have one on file so that we can issue a permit.
Chief, I'm informed that he's already made the appointment today.
Excellent. Dynamite. We're all set then. Thank you.
No, thank you for bringing that up. That's something that we're absolutely on top of. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Councilor.
Any other questions, concerns? Seeing none.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of MNN Corp. doing business as Ken's Auto for a license to engage in the sale of prepackaged food at the premises located at 1284 Furnace Brook Parkway.
Second on the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. You're all
Thank
set.
you. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you too, Chief. Thank you.
Next item, item number 6, hearing regarding the request of Chud Inc., doing business as Malachi's, Stephen Higgins, manager, for an alteration of licensed premise located at 5157 Granite Street. The alteration of premise is an additional 1,200 square feet of outdoor dining patio space, which will be fenced in and provide space for up to 10 tables. Stephen Higgins is here on behalf of Malachi's and looking to make the space that was temporarily approved a permanent space by the licensing board. Request was advertised in the Quincy Sun and abutters were notified. Councilor Phelan is here. I don't know if he would like to speak, but we would certainly like to give him the opportunity if he wishes to. There have not been any complaints while the temporary patio was in use. I'll go ahead and open it up to Councilor Phelan if he'd like to speak.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. At this time, I just like to hear if there's anyone from the neighborhood. I haven't received any complaints, but I think there might be some concern about hours and stuff like that with the neighborhood. So I'll defer to allow any neighbors to speak at this point. But
Okay.
I was contacted by them. They did go over their plans, and at this point, I haven't received anything from the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you, and I'll come back to you if you so wish. Are there any questions or concerns from anybody?
Yeah, I concerned about the noise.
Excuse me, can you just state your name and address for the record?
I'm Kevin. I live in 249, 251.
And your
I'm
last name,
concerned.
please?
Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm concerned about the noise and the parking on that area because during the summertime there's a noise of 2 o'clock at night and still people still turn on the loud volume in the car, you know, like and a lot of people going different way on the one-way street. If they go just against the one-way street going down, it's pretty dangerous. And I'm thinking, I think it's too much already. But before we don't know how to complain about it, so we just keep quiet, Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions, concerns?
And one more thing, that parking area, I don't think is a commercial parking.
Thank you. Thank you. RM
Yes.
McKim?
Hi. Yes. Hi. My name is Ron McKim. I live at 243 President's Lane. I've been here for over 30 years. I've seen a lot of barrooms come and go. The problem with this added space is the crowding. The parking lot that's behind the establishment is usually packed wall to wall on Friday, Saturday night, and sometimes any sports night, and it's packed. And the inside of the bar is usually jammed with people. They put in the temporary patio due to COVID, must have been about 6 months ago. And they did a nice job putting it in. Trouble is, people go in and out the side where the plants are, and there's no control of who goes in and out. And the noise coming out of there at night after 10 o'clock at night is just, and I'm 3 houses up, and I hear it with all the windows shut. And Ken is right. People come down the wrong side, come down the one-way street going into their parking lot just for that reason. And the parking lot is usually full till 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's just too noisy. About 20 years ago, we put in no parking on President's Lane from Granite Street to Lawton Road. And there's no parking either side. And on a Friday and Saturday night, it's usually packed jam full on both sides of the street. The police try to keep up with it, but they can't. I mean, they're busy enough. I know, I was one. And you just can't keep up with the parking. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else with any questions or concerns?
I think Mr. Rhodafield has his hand up, Madam Clerk.
Go ahead, John.
How you doing? Thank you for letting me speak again. John Rhodafield, 62 Grand Wall Road. I'm going to say I'm in favor of this. There's no better operators in the city than the Higginses. They've been operating a great business down there for a long time, and that's right down the other end of my street. I mean, we're doing that giant hospital project that's going to be causing all sorts of noise up there for the next 10 years. So I don't think, all those cars going down that street, they're not all going to Malachy's either. That's not really fair either. So I just want to say I'm in favor of this. You really need to do business outside nowadays, or you're going to be put out of business. And one business I don't want out of business is Malachy's. So let's allow Malachy's to stay in business during these crazy times. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with questions or concerns about the alteration of licensed premise at 5157 Granite Street, known as Malachy's? Seeing none. Board members, any questions or concerns?
Madam Chairman, I have a question for the owners. What are your hours? What are you planning on for hours for the outdoor seating and dining?
We'd like to keep the same as we had last summer. We'd have everybody off the patio by 10 o'clock. I think that's the permit we had last summer. And we'd just like to say thank you to the board and to the mayor for allowing that too. That really saved our bacon when everything was closed down. And, we had that option to have tables out back. It really saved us.
I have one other question. Sergeant McKim brought an interesting topic up as far as control. How do you control who's coming in and going? Do you have to go into the premise, into the building to get to the deck, or can you walk back and forth from the street and the parking lot to the deck? And if so, is there a way to section that off so that doesn't happen?
Yeah, so we put a stockade fence at the end, at the front of the patio, and a couple of planters next to it. So we always have somebody on the back patio and inside. So there would be, an operator on the back patio and inside the bar as well.
So that wouldn't happen. People wouldn't be coming and going with drinks into the parking lot, read or leave.
They would have to go inside to use the restroom, but they wouldn't be taking the drinks with them. they'd have to obviously keep the drinks right on the patio.
And then they could go inside to use the restrooms.
I do know that in reviewing the records, there weren't any complaints about any issues over the summer, so I think that's a good thing.
I think it went well, and we didn't hear any complaints either. We did the best we could to get everybody out of there and at 10 o'clock. And, you know, we'll do as we did last summer and hopefully go forward just like we did.
Madam Chairman, just quickly, they do have plants back there. I myself walked in through that and there was nobody there. And I've been doing this a long time. And the bathrooms are inside, except if they really have to go. Then there's the parking lot. So there's nobody on that back gate all the time. They come and go, and they've done. Most of the neighbors haven't complained about it because we don't want to see a business fail. But adding this patio is going to add to the size of the crowds that they get. And as it is now, it's just at their maximum.
Counselor, do you wish to speak on the matter?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. You're not planning on any entertainment or anything out here?
No.
Okay. And you're going to be clearing it off at 10 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. So do you plan to have anyone on the back door there, or is there? I know you mentioned that you have somebody out there usually over here, and you don't.
Yeah, if we had the patio open, we would have someone out there all the time. And if we need more, if we need to do more, we'll do more. We'll do whatever you guys need us to do.
Okay. I think, I think listening to the neighbors and hearing what they have to say, I think it's important. They're the ones living there, and they're your neighbors.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I think Malachi's does do a great job. They're always, you know, willing to work with the city, and I'm sure they'll be willing to work with the neighbors as well. And, you know, as fast as it happened, COVID, and, you know, we got the extension for the patios, and people, you know, put things up, you know, to the response. And maybe, you know, you could take a look at some of the things that the neighbors have said here today and look to approve upon them, you know. But as far as your patio is concerned, I've been down there and looked at it. I think that you have ample space and you're far enough away with your parking lot there. Maybe you could put up some greenery or something to muffle some of the noise. I know that some other establishments have done that in the past.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So looking for a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Chudding doing business as Malachi's, Stephen Higgins, manager, for an alteration of the licensed premises located at 51 to 57 Granite Street. The alteration is comprised of an additional 1,200 square feet of outdoor dining and patio space, which will be fenced in and provide space for up to 10 tables.
Second on the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Folks.
Agenda item number 7, hearing regarding the request of Tony's Clam Shop, Gary Candleloff, manager, for alteration of licensed premise located at 861 to 867 Quincy Shore Drive. The alteration is comprised of an additional 14,000 square feet of outdoor dining space. The additional space will be fenced in and will include picnic tables and round tables with umbrellas. Karen Jerf is here. I see Roy here. I see Gary here. Welcome all of you. I just want to make a couple of notes here. They are looking to make the temporary space that we did approve when we started with the COVID to a permanent space. The request was advertised in the Quincy Sun and the abutters were notified. And again, Councillor Phelan is here if he wishes to speak of the additional space there at Tony's Clam Shop. But first, let me provide an opportunity for anyone in the audience with any questions or concerns for Tony's Clam Shop. Carrie?
My name is Carrie White. I represent Mr. Contron, who is an owner of property at 857 Quincy Shore Drive. And so I'm representing his concerns today. What he's most concerned about is, in light of the fact that 14,000 square feet is, quite a significant enlargement, and what that will mean for, similar to the previous business, the size of the crowds, the traffic generation that will produce, also the increase of noise and disturbance coming from the amount of people that 14,000 square foot space can hold, and worrying obviously about his property value, but more the quality of life there with that increased amount of business. From what I understand too, it's adjacent to the restaurant as it is now, so it's a similar concern about crossing the street and how that's going to be handled. So thank you. Those are his concerns.
Thank you. Anyone else with any questions or concerns for extension of premise permanent for Tony's Clam Shop?
Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay. I'm Yvonne Lamotte, 25 Jordan Street. What I'm concerned about is, in the past, it's been difficult when people are parking along the marsh. It's hard to get around, and it somewhat can be dangerous for children or people trying to get around the neighborhood. If he's going to expand the area and, use, make it, more attractive, and that all is fine with me. Of course, I live on the other end, but I think respecting the marshland, and especially the traffic, which can be really difficult for people trying to walk or get by. If it gets more congested, it could be a problem. But I wish him the best for, improving the space.
Thank you. Anyone else with questions or concerns?
John Rotafield?
You have your hand up?
Yes. Quick question. John Rotafield, 62 Grand Wall Road. I actually thought it was a mistake. I thought it was like a 1,400 square foot. It's a 14,000 square foot dining area. Is that accurate?
Yes, there's two adjacent lots that they own that they ran all summer last year that they plan on making permanent.
What is the current zoning of those adjacent lots? Are they, is it residential A, residential B? I think I see Jay Duker on the call right now. Does he know what is the current zoning on those lots?
I'm almost certain it's residence A.
So, that's where I have an issue with it, because you're basically putting, this is very similar to what just happened up at the Beachcomber. So we protected the people up at the Beachcomber, and I would say, I want equal protection for the people on all the beaches everywhere in Quincy. So this is I really wasn't paying attention to this one at all. This is definitely, like I said, I'm 14,000 square feet is gigantic. I mean, I'm almost thinking right now, how come you're not building condos there? I mean, that's a giant lot of land. So I don't know. Like I said, if it's residential A, I know that's just weird. But thank you.
Thank you. Barbara, did you have your hand up?
Yes, I do. I have a question. My name is Barbara Sullivan, and I live at 4 Morse Street, which is at the corner of Morse and Jordan. So I'm concerned about all the cars because people are waiting at Tony's. They think it's a parking lot and they're standing in the street, but cars are going by. It's the traffic flow. It's not the noise or anything like that. It's just the amount of cars, and it seems rather congested. That's my concern.
Thank you. Counselor?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Basically, as I understand it, they're using the space that they already had tables and chairs all summer. So it's not really changing, if I'm not mistaken. Like one of the candle lamps could have. It's not really changing what they already had.
Right. Maybe someone in the family wishes to speak on behalf of Tony's.
I can start with some. Well, first of all, at the beginning of the season, the 14,000 square feet has always been there, and we utilized it for extra seating. This year, the traffic congestion obviously was a huge concern at the beginning because the beach was closed, so there was no parking on the whole entire beach, which caused more congestion. Once the beach opened up, and then we provided a lot of, I think we had almost 30 parking spaces additional. So yes, it was a little chaotic at the beginning, but once we were able to, once the beach opened up for parking again, I mean, they closed the entire Quincy Shore Drive while we were open. That was a problem. But, we aren't going to build on that land. That's why we're using it for customers, for seating. They were happy to have another place to sit besides the front, which there was limited seating and plenty of outdoor distancing. And people seemed very, very happy. We didn't have any complaint. And we will work on, we're working on the parking, street congestion. And I think part of it was when the beach was closed.
Thank you.
Gary might have more. I don't know. Any other questions?
Any other questions or concerns?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
John has
Gary,
his hand
go ahead.
up.
Go ahead. Anytime. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead, Gary.
I can't. It's going in and out a little bit. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, all these things we've been addressing anyways as we went along. We started right away with beginning of the beach, which nobody knew, and nobody on this planet knew what was going to happen. And I think we worked an outstanding job with what we had. And for the parking issues, we had hired a monitor, like a policeman type of person with a vest on, to help take care of the traffic. And most of that traffic, of course, like my sister said, was from the beach when it was closed. And then there was an abundance of traffic that we learned how to control as we went along. This was totally a learning experience, which I think we did an outstanding job with no issues whatsoever, no complaints whatsoever. And for those concerned about traffic and landscaping and so forth, we intend to do quite a bit to make it much prettier, basically it's going to alleviate a lot of the traffic and people coming and going when they have a place to sit instead of stand outside and wait and go to their cars and so forth. So we're about to do quite a bit of everything, and we built a ramp to access the yards, which will make it much safer for everybody, quicker, and we'll be able to maintain people and have much better control. We have fencing in between both yards. We've ordered large signs. We put them up. The safety there is there. We always have somebody watching each area. We intend to even do more with that to make sure that we didn't see anybody coming and going with alcohol and so forth. And I think we really did an outstanding job. And for 57 years to be in a residential area, I think we've really kind of not earned it, but we've done a really well job. My father did a great job all these years, and we want to get along with everybody. We want to do the best we can, but I think this will alleviate more.
Thank you. Counselor, do you wish to weigh in at this time?
Is unstable.
No, I just say that they've been, like you said, 57 years. They've been a great asset to the community. And I think what you're finding is when it was really bad traffic, and it was, and it went over to all the streets around there, was when the beach was closed. That really did a number on that entire neighborhood, not just that neighborhood, down at Fennel Street, all around. So I think that was a tough point, but I don't foresee anyone closing the beach anytime soon. So I think, the Candelabras have been down there a long time, and they've done a great job as a business there. And I would speak in favor of extending it. With some of the things hearing from Gary and Karen, they're going to do to make sure, they'll help to make sure the traffic flows. And the area is near Residence A, and they've been as careful as anyone about that, in my experience. Now, and even when I was council before, they've always been good neighbors and worked hard and put out a great product here in Ward 5. So, I would speak in favor of it.
Thank you, Counselor. Yes, of course.
Just to confer with what Councilor Phelan says, we were receiving, he was 100% right. I didn't really think of that at the time, but he was 100% right. We were getting calls off the hook when the beach was closed from people that were parking on all the side streets, just about every one of them along Quincy Shore Drive. They'd park there for the day, go for a walk, or park for a few hours in the neighborhoods, and we received a number of complaints in regard to that before the beach was reopened. So I can see that led to a lot of the problems that we're having down there at that time. But I think that will be resolved once the beach is open this summer, hopefully for everybody.
Thank you, Chief. Any other board members, questions, concerns?
Yeah, Nicole, I have a question. I'd like to ask, how many seats do they have now, and how many seats are they proposing on this new lot? The other questions I had is, are they going to provide lighting? Are they going to provide lighting, fencing? I think I might have lost you.
Thank you.
So lighting, fencing, tables. Are they going to have music, sound, or anything like that?
And maybe if I could just add in hours of operation. Thank you. Go ahead, Karen.
We were going to hopefully go by the original temporary permit that we had, which gave us 180 additional seats. That was like picnic tables, and that was actually during COVID. So we were just going to keep that same amount of seating that was already extended to us. We have lights. We have, I think Gary knows of other things that's going to go up, but I think what's the other question you had? Lights. Fencing is already existing. They're all completely with gates. What else did you say? The lights are there. The hours of operation. Oh, music. We were going to pipe in just light music, nothing like crazy loud music, just dining music through speakers, if that was okay. Always respectful of our neighbors.
So your original TEP permit, temporary permit, was for 180 people?
Yes. That's what I did.
180.
180.
180.
And you're going to keep the same number. How you didn't utilize
and well spaced.
Yes, always well spaced.
You never utilized 180 seats before?
Well, people come and go. It's not like they're all being used at once ever. And I think a lot of the congestion that we had was also because we didn't have the yard open at the beginning of the season either, so we had curbside pickup, which meant nobody could come in and sit in the yard. So this would absolutely alleviate people from standing in the streets or anything like that, because now they have actually somewhere to sit.
So I'm just trying to clarify, the temporary permit that you received for 180 seats, was that all for the lot right behind your restaurant?
Yes, the two lots, the connecting lots.
The two connecting, the triangular shaped lot.
No, Jay, that was the 2 yards.
Yeah. The two.
It was the 2 yards, Jay.
That Nicole had.
Behind your restaurant, okay.
Yes.
And then now you're going to keep the same amount of seats, but extend it over to the lot across the street.
No, no, it's not across the street. These are both next to each other, separated by the right-of-way. And we already had that seating in last year. So they were able to utilize both of, this is for both of this is both lots, the total of both lots.
Jay, for permanent outdoor seating, not just the temporary.
Right.
This is for permanent seating.
Yes.
All right. You know, I don't see any neighborhood opposition. I didn't think I heard anything, and the fact that the counselor is on board I would go along with it. I'm just concerned about the amount of traffic and all the concerns, but I'm willing to vote in favor of it.
Thank you, Jay. Any other questions, concerns from anyone on the board? So I would just like to say that I did go down there personally and tour the temporary space, and I was very impressed by what the Candelofts have put together for as far as safety, as far as spacing out, lighting, and they are a good business in our city, and I wish them well, you know, going forward from 57 more years. And so with that, you know, I'm looking for a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Tony's Clam Shop, Inc. for an alteration of the licensed premises located at 861 to 867 Quincy Shore Drive. The alteration is comprised of an additional 14,000 square foot of outdoor dining space. The additional space will be fenced in and will include picnic tables and round umbrella tables.
Second on the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good luck.
Good luck.
Very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Next item on the agenda is hearing to review the status of the all alcohol beverage license, restaurant license, issued to Jasmine Inc. for the premise located at 217 Quincy Ave, 2A-D. Jasmine Lee. Ms. Lee has requested time to sell her license, but the board has received notice that the location is being leased by another tenant. Quincy has several liquor licenses now. Let's hear from Jasmine Lee on what she is intending to do with it.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Lee, and I just wonder, since I don't have the location, I just wonder if I request time to sell the liquor license, what is the maximum time that the board is allowing me to do that? That's why I'm here.
Well, Jasmine, it's not lawful to hold a liquor license unless you have a premise.
Okay.
And so if you don't have a premise, then you can't have a pocket license. So we heard from the owner of the building that he leased it to somebody else.
Okay.
So for that, unless you had a plan in place, and other board members, if you do wish to chime in here, but if you don't have another place for your liquor license, then it's unlawful to hold it just to sell it. And we have many others in the city right now that people can just come in and apply for.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So what is your plan for that liquor license? Are you going to come in and discontinue the liquor license? Because if you find another place in the meantime and you wish to use a liquor license, you can certainly apply for another one.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm not finding another place right now. So.
Okay, so you're going to discontinue the license at this time?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That is all that we have on the agenda for today. Looking for a motion to accept the minutes from the December 22nd, 2020 meeting and waive the reading.
Motion to accept the minutes and waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next hearing will be on February 9th, and looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.